feel intimidated by a woman's academic accomplishments, especially if she's pushing that, you know, as one of her tools, you know, like one of her bragging things.
Right. See, what often happens with a lot of guys is they get so wrapped up in the presentation of this woman that they lose sight of themselves. Okay. They lose sight of their own value. And, you know, naturally they get intimidated by things like that. But when you understand your own value and you know where you've been, you know where you are, you know where you're going. Mm-hmm. When you understand these things about yourself as a man, it doesn't matter if somebody has more education than you. It doesn't matter if somebody has more money than you or better credit than you or whatever the case may be. Like I said, when you understand where you've been, where you are, and where you're going, and how that relates to your value as a man, you know, you're not going to be intimidated by them types of things.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another interview, man. And you know, we got the uppercase P in the building, man. He got all the game, the advice. You know, you guys love it when I bring the brother back on the platform. You know what I'm saying? It's Freeze, you know, my fellow brother out of the West Coast. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, man, for the people that don't know him. Freeze, man. Freeze is it. Go ahead, let them know what's up with you, bro.
Yeah, man. As y'all know, Freeze is it. You know, the God anointed game appointed gentleman. Back with O'Shea once again, putting some of this good love shit in my life, man. You know, I ain't gonna tell y'all who these people are, but they really need to cut me a check, man, because I've been advocating for them real heavy, man. But yeah, man, you know, they call it water, I call this shit love, man. So, you know, putting this love in my life and, you know, enjoying life at the same time, you dig?
All right. Thank you for coming, bro. I know you're a busy person, but I saw you on the OnlyFans interview that I did with Candy Montana. You came at the end,
right?
And I was like, man, I've been meaning to do a show with Freeze again, and so I emailed you, and I asked you if you had a topic, man, and you know you always have an oblique topic, man. It was a little bit, a little oblique, but I like the ideology. And we're gonna hit it from two bases, right? And that's why I like a lot of chicks that are like on OnlyFans, stripping. You know, a lot of them say they're using that money to go to college. And then also another part of the equation is, you know, a lot of black women are in our community that have, you know, higher advanced degrees. You know, they kind of sometimes may use that against brothers, and sometimes some guys may be intimidated. So I guess we're going to kind of tackle those two questions in the same show. But let me talk about the first thing, right? Because you know, a lot of women are going to the OnlyFans platform now because of the pandemic. You know, a lot of women that said they needed to finance themselves to go to school, and OnlyFans is it seems like to be a great place to earn money for certain ladies. Why do you think that they're wasting their time using that platform or stripping and stuff like that?
Well, as far as them using that platform or stripping or whatever the case may be, a lot of them are wasting their time because they're not maximizing their potential. You know, or I like to call it potential. You dig? But they're not maximizing their potential really because, you know, a lot of them are just doing it because it's easy to do. Like, it's easy to create an OnlyFans account and it's easy to get hired at a strip club. But what's not easy is thriving in those different realms. You know, it's not easy to thrive on OnlyFans, and it's not easy to thrive in the strip club. You know, this is where game comes into play. And a lot of them don't apply themselves when it comes to game. A lot of them have a reactive nature about themselves, and they want to sit back and wait for things to happen and then react to it. You know, a lot of them don't want to make things happen. Whatever they want in life, they don't want to make it happen. They want to wait for it to happen, and they want somebody to do it for them. So that's why a lot of them are wasting their time as far as, you know, trying to get money in them different ways. So
Okay. What now? Let me ask you a question. What is? I know I know I shouldn't ask, but I'm curious, right? What is potential?
potential is uh, a young lady's potential to make money for her time and her pleasure.
Okay.
That's what potential is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. What's the difference? Because the lady that was on the show with me when you saw that,
Right.
she says she knows girls offline that make as much as on OnlyFans $1 million in a year. The top ones, right? Not the average ones, but the elite. It's not uncommon to see a chick make $15,000 in a month, $20,000 in a month. But what would you say to somebody that's saying those things?
You saying that they're making that kind of money on OnlyFans? You saying?
That's what she's telling me.
Right. Yeah, and I believe that. See, as we know, when it comes to anything in life, you got levels.
Right.
But just like anything else in life, as you climb, the ladder of success, so to speak, as you climb, it gets less and less crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the top, it's not crowded at all. So it's not very many people. The potential or potential to do that is great with a lot of individuals. But like I tell people, right, when it comes to OnlyFans, there's a few different dynamics at work that people got to understand in order to make their OnlyFans pop. The main thing that you have to have going on for yourself, for most individuals, you have to have a big audience from a different platform. Because as we know, either one of us, we could post a video here on YouTube and people can share it and the shit can go viral.
Right.
Same thing with Instagram, same thing with Facebook, same thing with TikTok, all these other different platforms. If we post something, somebody can share it or it could catch fire and it can go viral, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference with OnlyFans is because the content is exclusive, it doesn't have the potential to go viral. People, unlike with these other platforms, people have to pay to see the content on OnlyFans. You don't have to pay to see the content on YouTube in most cases. Same thing with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, what have you. And because the content is free and available for any and everyone to see it, the shit can go viral. So because OnlyFans is exclusive, if you're not drawing traffic from another platform to OnlyFans, then how do you make your OnlyFans grow? How do you make it pop? How do you make it go quote unquote viral, so to speak, or whatever? It's really no way, because you can't post something on OnlyFans and it spread, somebody share it and then people catch on to it. No, you have to promote that yourself.
Okay.
It kind of works similar like Patreon. Like you and I, we both got Patreon. Right. If you didn't have your platform on YouTube, you over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you didn't have that platform, if you had 0 subscribers and 0 YouTube, how would your Patreon pop?
Right.
You understand how Patreon works because you own there. So OnlyFans in that sense pretty much works the same way.
Okay.
So with that being said, in order for a chick to make 15,000 in a month or $1 million in a year or what have you, she would have to have a big audience on a different platform, and then she got to apply game, because I've seen different chicks that do get that kind of money, and they might have 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers on YouTube, but even them, they let you know that it's not easy. Like, they got to grind, they got to put work in, even with 1 million followers or a few million followers on Instagram. Just because you have those followers doesn't mean you could, hey, I got OnlyFans and everybody gonna rush over there. No, you have to apply game and you got to apply effort. So, like I said, the big audience on a different platform, the game and the effort, most chicks don't have that. So that's why most chicks, like we say, are wasting their time on OnlyFans.
Okay, let me ask you this though, because you do have, the chicks who, there was an article that came out that says a lot of nursing students went to OnlyFans because they needed to pay for their tuition, right? And you do hear that excuse, like a lot of chicks are turning there to pay for college tuition. Do you think that's a good idea for if they could get some extra money doing that, short lived? Does that make sense to you?
In theory, it seems like a good idea, but again, most of those chicks, like I said, they have a reactive mentality. Mm-hmm. So these nursing school chicks or whatever, these girls that's trying to pay for their tuition, mm-hmm. Of course they don't rationalize this like this in their minds, because they don't even really give it much thought. But they just see something that looks good, that looks easy, and they rush to that. Put it like this, man. A lot of these girls, they would much rather have a little bit of money very easily than a whole lot of money that's not so easy to get.
Right.
You did. Right. So they really just going for the easiest thing. And like I said, it's easy to create an OnlyFans account. So that's why a lot of them are rushing over there like that. But like I said, in theory, it seems like a good idea, but they don't really think about the dynamics of it, like what it takes to be successful at it. Mm-hmm. They just think because, wherever they work or wherever they go to school or wherever they live, dudes is always trying to holler at them, or, on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media platform, dudes is always trying to holler at them. So they get it in their mind that they're attractive, and they very well may be attractive, but it mm-hmm. takes more than being physically attractive mm-hmm. to make it happen on there. So, like I said, unless they applying, game, effort, and they got a audience that's big on a different platform, it's really a waste of time, even for somebody trying to pay for their tuition.
Okay, let me transition from the tuition and OnlyFans to another thing that a lot of guys have complained about, especially in the African American community, because obviously, women are getting more educated in the Western countries in general, but in the Black community, especially in our community, we see a big disparity between. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be, but Black women are more collegiately or academically successful than African American men, than us as counterparts,
than anybody.
Yeah. There's people that say that too.
Yeah, that group of people, like you said, they per capita, or however you want to say it, mm-hmm. There's no group of people that the percentage of them is have higher learning than African American women.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and when the bragathon starts, the people that they kind of like shit on is us, because if they're the number one and we not on their level, right? And so a lot of times I was watching certain videos in the past, I will see a lot of women saying, well, it's hard for me to find a man that's on my level. I have a PhD, and you expect me to date a guy who was a truck driver or somebody that's as educated as me. I can't do that, and stuff like that. And so there are some Black men, maybe not, us, but, I do know people who say like, wow, she has a master's degree. Like, wow, I can't date her. Like, I just have an associate's, or I'm in the military or something like that. Is there a reason for, should a man feel intimidated by a woman's academic accomplishments, especially if she's pushing that, as one of her tools, like one of her bragging things?
Right. See, what often happens with a lot of guys is they get so wrapped up in the presentation of this woman that they lose sight of themselves.
Okay.
They lose sight of their own value. And, you know, naturally they get intimidated by things like that. But when you understand your own value and you know where you've been, you know where you are, you know where you're going. Mm-hmm. When you understand these things about yourself as a man, it doesn't matter if somebody has more education than you. It doesn't matter if somebody has more money than you or better credit than you or whatever the case may be. Like I said, when you understand where you've been, where you are, and where you're going, and how that relates to your value as a man, you know, you're not going to be intimidated by them types of things. And when a woman says something like, you know, she can't mess with a man who's not on her level, you know, by what terms, by what standard are we talking about? What's the terms? You know, because you may have a better education than me, but you might be living with your mama.
Okay.
Or you might have roommates or something like that. I don't have to deal with that. You know, I might be a truck driver or a construction worker or something like that, but I'm my own boss. I work for myself.
Right.
You know, if I'm a truck driver, I might own my own truck, you know, and if I'm a construction worker, I might own my own business. I might be the foreman for my business or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I might not have a degree, but shit, neither does Jay-Z. Jay-Z don't even have a high school diploma, but he's a billionaire.
Right.
So, you know, of course, if it's somebody like Jay-Z, you can't have that type of conversation with somebody like him. You know, and that's, you know, that's an extreme example, but the point is, you know, education alone shouldn't make a man feel intimidated. You know, but at the same time, see, you got to have game when it comes to this shit, right? Mm-hmm. And at the same time that you shouldn't feel intimidated, you shouldn't get into a shitting match with that woman, you know, because like you said, a lot of women, they try to shit on men with the whole, I got education and you don't thing. You can be confident in yourself and humble this young woman without, you know, fighting fire with fire. You dig? So like I said, it's really about being sure of yourself, because you can have a situation where a dude maybe, you know, he might not be intimidated by that, but he might want to one up her because she's trying to one up him. You know, mm-hmm. you don't want to get into a competition with a female. You don't want to get into, you don't want to have friction. You want to have harmony. And, you know, the way you have harmony is like, well, you know, just basically communicate to her that you're not going to have to depend on her. I'm not coming to you looking for somebody to take care of me. I'm a man.
Right.
And you know, I can hold my own. Can you hold your own? Yeah, you got a degree, but it's a lot of people with degrees that can't hold their own. Let's have a conversation about who can hold their own.
Okay.
Can you hold your own? Okay, now let's talk about that. Okay, now we've established that I can hold my own and you can hold your own. Okay, let's move on. You did? See, the thing is too, like, as a man, you want to dictate the conversation. You don't want to allow this woman to dictate the conversation, because if she does, it's gonna be emotional. And if you get on her level and be emotional with her, it's gonna go in the wrong direction and you're not gonna get nowhere. Right. But you know, like I said, as a man, you understand where you've been, you understand where you are, you understand where you're going. You understand your value. You're not gonna get into that type of, you know, shit on who competition with this woman. You know, you gonna establish things. It's like, okay, you talking about not on your level. Like, I own property, I own this. I might drive trucks, cause shit, like I got an uncle. Real true story. I got an uncle who been driving trucks forever, and he balling. Got big property, like a whole bunch of money, like, and ain't got no type of formal education.
Right.
But balling and been balling for a long time off driving trucks. So, Yeah, man.
I like how you put that in there, because a lot of times, because a lot of brothers can easily get into those kind of shouting matches, or back and forth debate and stuff like that. Very rarely do you hear a guy give advice as to what you said, because then it could get guys are wanting to put her down for her getting out of pocket or something like that. Like, I like how you position that, to you don't want to get back and forth with kind of like a bragathon with her. Why did you say that?
Because see, and it's a real bad thing that we have in the black community. A lot of us, we gain a sense of importance by comparison, right? I got more jewelry than you, or I got jewelry and you don't have no jewelry, so I'm better than you. Or I'm light skinned, you dark skinned, I'm better than you. Or you dark skinned, you light skinned, I'm dark skinned, I'm better than you. Whatever the case may be, right? A lot of us get our sense of importance from comparison, when the way it should be, we should get our sense of importance from our value, who we are as individuals, and what we've invested and built up and grown within ourselves. So again, back to that situation with this woman, trying to shit on me because she got degrees and I don't. I understand my value. So right. I'm not going to compare myself to her. And also within that, I'm going to get her to understand that she doesn't need to compare herself to me. Because, if we interested in each other, and we talking about or thinking about the possibility of getting into a relationship with each other, like, we're not going to be in competition with each other. So there's right. no need for us to compare ourselves to one another. But it the same thing applies to business, or whatever the case may be, friendships. Whenever you have an endeavor with somebody, especially us as black people, like I said, we got that bad, and that's something that I hope at some point we start to get out of as a people. Comparing ourselves to one another, that don't do anything for us. That doesn't get us anywhere. Now, there is a such thing as having what's called a worthy rival. A worthy rival might be like you, for instance, right? You might be my worthy rival when it comes to YouTube, because you're more successful than me when it comes to YouTube. You know things about YouTube that I don't. So with you being my worthy rival, I look to you for inspiration. I look to you for motivation. I don't look to you as somebody to be in competition with. You're not my competitor, but you're my worthy rival.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, it's okay to have that mindset.
Right.
But as far as us being in competition with each other, like, especially a woman, I'm not finna be in competition with no woman. So that's why I say that. I just understand that I'm never gonna put myself in a position where this woman thinks that she can compete with me, or that she can get me to compete with her. That's never gonna happen. So.
Okay. That's a real deep game. Let me ask you this, because it's easier said than done, right? A lot of times, a brother may, and the reason why I like about interviewing you is because when you give real good advice on in the field, in the moment stuff. A lot of brothers,
right.
Live in some of the cities like Atlanta. Now it might be a little harder now with the corona, but they see a lot of attractive professional women, and sometimes the brother might be like, well, she look good, she just got a nice car, she just came out of Benz. Like, man, I don't even really know if I could really pull that. I'm like, I might have some money, but man, she just looked like, like real good, like she's an attorney or something like that, man. Like, should I go holler? Do I need to change my approach up to talk to her? Like, what would you give a brother advice on that? Because, you know, a lot of brothers are seeing, you know, professional ladies out. You know, should they approach it any different than they would a regular anybody else?
You know, it's good to consider, you know, those things, but at the end of the day, it's just a female, man. It's just a woman, you know. And granted, by her having these things going on, she may have different interests than a woman who doesn't have these things going on, and she may have a different outlook on life, you know, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it's just a woman, and women still have emotions. I don't care what kind of house they live in, what kind of car they drive in, what kind of, you know, balance they got on their bank account. They're still a woman. So, you know, one of the coldest examples I could give, man, and this should be an inspiration to any dude, and this should make a light bulb go off in any dude's head. Now, granted, she was in a vulnerable position, but nonetheless, this is a woman who at the time was a billionaire. And I'm talking about Griselda Blanco, right? She was in the feds down there in Florida.
Okay.
But she was a billionaire. And she was getting all kind of fan mail. And it was one nigga from the Bay Area, you know what I mean? From Oakland, you know what I mean? Town business.
Right,
you know?
right.
He sent her a letter just like all these other dudes were sending her letters. But he put some game in that letter, and he struck her ass. This is a billionaire woman. And not only is she a billionaire, but she's extremely powerful.
Okay.
She can have anything and anybody that she wants. But he didn't allow that to intimidate him. You know, I'm already knowing a big part of what, you know, allowed him to penetrate her interest. You know, most dudes that was getting at her was probably getting at her on some fan stuff like, oh my God, I'm such a fan of you, or I admire you so much, or this, that, and the third. They wasn't really trying to connect with her. And that's what dude from the Bay, Charles Cosby, that's what he did. He wanted to connect with her, and he was successful. So when you intentional about what you approaching this woman for, you know, back to the regular guy who sees a woman getting out of an expensive foreign car, and, you know, she got a Louis bag, and, you know what I mean, she might be wearing some Alexander McQueen or you know, something like that. She looks expensive. You know, when you're intentional about how you approaching this woman, you know, you're gonna allow your creative mind to work. And see, one of the biggest things, because your objective is to connect with this woman, one of the biggest things that's gonna help you connect with this woman is to, as best you can, understand things from her perspective, right? So if you're looking at things from her perspective, you know, most guys are going to be intimidated by her. Even dudes that might have more money than her and a better car or whatever the case may be. A lot of dudes are going to be intimidated by a woman like that. So if you strike that out, you know, you're going to have that much more of an advantage over the average guy. Mm-hmm. Because, okay, I'm not intimidated by her. And no matter what she say, I'm not going to show any type of intimidation when I approach her. I'm not fazed by that. You dig? And then, you know, take time to understand her, ask her the right questions, you know what I mean? Say the right shit. Be funny. She might have more money than you, but she still got a sense of humor. She still laughs. You dig? And that's one thing, man, this gonna help you connect with just about any woman, man, if you can make her laugh.
Right.
You dig? So, but basically, whatever it is, whether you make her laugh or you hit her with like a counter punch that she doesn't expect, you know, you approach her in some type of way that she's not expecting, and it's like, damn, I wasn't expecting that, you know. it's all about connecting with her. You dig? And it's possible to connect with her, especially understanding that this is a woman. They get emotional just like any other woman. And, you know, she breathes air, she bleeds blood, you know, it's still a woman. She just might be more successful than the average woman. But again, you know, one of the biggest determining factors is having confidence in yourself as a man. You dig? Mm-hmm. And again, that's why a lot of guys feel intimidated by women, because, you know, they put themselves in that competition mindset again. Like, mm-hmm. Damn, she got more money than me.
Right.
You know, she drives a better car than me. So, you know, you can't compete with her in those areas. So you feel intimidated by her because of that. But when you understand your value as a man, you know you're not in competition with her. So it don't mm-hmm. matter what she got going on. Mm-hmm. You know, y'all not in competition with each other. So, you know, you don't even see any of that shit. Right. That shit don't move you. You know, so you're not gonna be on no, because a lot of dudes have that problem when they approach. And I've seen this shit so many times where dudes will get at a chick and they'll be on some groupie shit. Mm-hmm. I've seen dudes with money. Like, man, it's crazy. Like, I remember not too long ago, I was in a casino in Miami, right? I'm in a Hard Rock casino, and I'm chilling with a few cats, right? And some of these dudes got money, and they got jewelry and cars and all this shit, right? But they seen this little chick, and they was like, oh, that's such and such. I can't remember her name, but she had like 200,000 or 300,000 followers on Instagram, right? So she had a decent following on Instagram, and she was like, you know, she was fairly attractive chick, but these dudes was just like drooling all over her and shit. And when they was getting at her, they was like, yeah, I follow you on Instagram. And it's like, and like I said, she was an attractive chick, but she was in there with some of them furry house shoes that these chicks be wearing.
Right.
It's a casino on Saturday night. She's in there with these furry ass flip flops. You know, like a workout, you know, tank top with like some workout pants, like some stretch pants.
Right.
And it's like, come on, man. Like,
right.
You know, but
you going crazy like over that?
They got it, but they got at her on some fan shit because they got themselves in that comparison shit. You know, like, she got something going on that I don't. So, you know, that put them in groupie mode. But it's like, dude, like just stop. Stop and think about everything. Like, do you know what your value is as a man? Do you understand who you are and what you bring to the table as a man? Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man. Like, you drooling over this chick because she got followers and she didn't even take 2 minutes to get ready when she came out on Saturday night at a casino?
Right.
You know, so a lot of cats will be just as intimidated by somebody with a lot of followers as they would be somebody with a lot of money. But like I said, man, once you understand that you're not in competition with this female, and you know you want to connect with her, that's the main things you want to keep in mind. And when you're intentional about how you're approaching her, you're gonna say the right shit.
Man, Freeze always has the best game, man. Like I said, you know, Freeze, you growing on YouTube, man. Every time you come by, we always have a classic show. Tell the brothers, man, because I know you're busy. I know you've been posting on YouTube, but what kind of content, you know, would they expect if they were to subscribe to your channel? I'm gonna leave your link at the first comment pinned to the top. But for those people who don't know Freeze, like, what are the new subscribers going to be getting coming to your channel?
Well, you know, it's a lot of game related content. You know, I'm popping a lot of game. Now, the game that I pop is you know, specific to my experience and, you know, my life in the game as a gentleman of leisure. But like I always say, game has universal application. Mm-hmm. So if you can extract the information that's being given on my channel, you know, if you can extract the information from the content and, you know, apply it to your own life, it could be very beneficial, man. I've had a lot of people, who are complete squares, who aren't even, in the street life at all, that have thanked me, and I humbly appreciate it, for the information that I've given on my channel. So that's pretty much what they can expect if they come and subscribe to my channel.
All right, and bro, I definitely appreciate you. Like I said, man, you're one of the best talents, if not one of the best, if not the best. You and Sin, even though y'all in the P's, but when it comes to the game, nobody does it better than y'all too, man. So I'm really, really thankful that you was able to bless us with the game. Guys, go to the first comment pinned to the top, and this video is gonna do pretty good. I thank you, brothers, for supporting the show. Check out all my information. You'll see Freeze is it. Do you want to shout out your Instagram or anything else you have that maybe they want to follow?
Yeah, I'm not really so much on Instagram right now, but if they want to, I have 2 different Instagrams. One of them is Freeze is it, like it's spelled here, and then the other one is Even My Hello Costs.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but even My Hello Costs with underscores in between every word and an underscore at the end. That's the Instagram. My Patreon is Freeze is it, like it's spelled here. And, I be forgetting to promote my music, man. I be sometimes forgetting that I rap, but, it's been kind of in high demand lately. But Freeze is it, like it's spelled here. I got a project out called the Vitamin P Project. It's available on every platform where they stream music. So, yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna make sure I put that in there. The Vitamin P Project. Yeah, man, you're a really good lyricist too. For those who didn't know, so he definitely be doing that. So guys, again, thanks Pete for coming by, brothers. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I'm telling you, man, you will not. And the story times are always the best, man. Like those story times are the best I've stayed on the tube, man. But as you brothers know, the buffoonery remains at the all-time high. I'm out. Feel intimidated by a woman's academic accomplishments, especially if she's pushing that, as one of her tools, like one of her bragging things.
Right. See, what often happens with a lot of guys is they get so wrapped up in the presentation of this woman that they lose sight of themselves. Okay. They lose sight of their own value. And, naturally they get intimidated by things like that. But when you understand your own value and you know where you've been, you know where you are, you know where you're going. Mm-hmm. When you understand these things about yourself as a man, it doesn't matter if somebody has more education than you. It doesn't matter if somebody has more money than you or better credit than you or whatever the case may be. Like I said, when you understand where you've been, where you are, and where you're going, and how that relates to your value as a man, you're not going to be intimidated by them types of things.